Hope you appreciate all of the editing that I had to do for this, because this took forever. Like, again, every time that you come here, you have to wait at least 2 minutes, because it takes such an unnecessarily long time. Why can't I just throw in hundreds of rupees and get all of the upgrades that I want right away? Why does it have to drag out for so long? But anyways, I had a Game Genie when I was a kid, and I got a second one because the first one stopped working. And the annoying thing about the Game Genie is that if your game crashes while you have the codes enabled, then they won't work anymore. I don't understand why that is. I mean, if the game has the ability to detect that you have codes that... Well, none of the codes that I used... Well, I have used codes that crashed the game, like a code that just played the flute music at the black screen, title screen, and then that was it. I don't think I tried to use it again, though. But anyways, my point is that when I tried to... I used the walk through walls code, and I went out of bounds. I walked to the left. I walked to this house, and it stopped working. Like, it stopped working at a certain point. Yeah, this minigame takes forever. You can get all sorts of different things in this minigame. Like, I at least sort of appreciate the variety. Like, you can get bombs, and you can get arrows and stuff. You don't just get money. Yeah, this level, this is the part of the game where it becomes so much more non-linear. I'm doing the 4th dungeon second. Well, not quite yet, because I'm not quite ready yet. Or at least I don't think I am. I wonder why this guy is shorter than the fortune teller in Light World. What is... I mean, you have no way of knowing what exactly that represents about his personality. And why is it called a gossip shop? I mean, when you actually go there, it's just a ruined house. The Village of Outcasts, it's full of destroyed houses for some reason. And it's supposed to be a village of thieves, but I prefer what Link Between Worlds did with it. Because there's a lot less destroyed houses and more actual people. And there's a lot more NPCs you can talk to that aren't just shopkeepers. So it feels more alive. It feels more like a living, breathing world in that game. And the 4th dungeon is called Thieves Town, but it's not a town. And I think Thieves Town would have been a better name than Village of Outcasts, because they don't seem to be outcasts, aside from the fact that they're thieves, and of course they're outcasts, they're thieves. But anyways, what I was trying to say was that, this cave, I think he's a sheep because he's supposed to have a nice and kind sheepish personality. And it's good that they actually tell you about the super bomb here. It's annoying how they don't have an Easter egg that makes something actually happen if you shoot them with an arrow. And I guess that cave was supposed to be the Dark World version of the Sanctuary, because there's benches all over the place that are supposed to be pews, and there's no actual pews in the Sanctuary, which is kind of weird. Yeah, there's such tiny space for you to dash, so it's easy to grab it when you don't want to. And I usually, oh, this is a really annoying part. I hate it when this happens. And there's no way to avoid this happening, because you can only go to the south after emerging from the staircase. And you can save and quit, but oh yeah, this is how you get that rupee. Otherwise, you won't be able to get it. But anyways, it's annoying how if you, this is the first Zelda game. No, Zelda 2 was. But this is a Zelda game where if you save and quit, the game counts that as a death. And they fixed that in GBA version, thank God. In this version of the game, you pretty much have to beat it in one sitting without saving. If you want the game to acknowledge that you beat it without dying, which is stupid. I mean, I could beat this game in one sitting, no problem. Well, sort of. I mean, I can, but for this playthrough, I took a lot of breaks. And I was able to do that without the game counting it as a death because it's the Wii Virtual Console version. And I could just press the home button and make a quick save. Although it's annoying that it's just a quick save, not an actual save. And yeah, I forgot that I needed the hook shot here. So I completely wasted my time coming here. Wonderful. This is a chest that I forgot that I got already, so I think I show it again in an extra video. Well. I'll always regret what I did with the walkthrough walls code because now it doesn't work anymore. And I really wish that I had instead of immediately trying to go out of bounds with it, I wish I had just immediately done what I planned to do with it from the very beginning and try to mess around in the overworld while it was under the rain. But instead, I used it to go out of bounds, and thus I broke the code. It's annoying how the game can freeze for reasons that have nothing to do with the code you activated, and the code will still stop working. Like, my Game Genie for Link to the Past is pretty much useless now, because one, that's the only game I use codes for anyways, and two, the game froze for a completely unrelated reason when I had the Infinite Hearts code enabled, among other things. So now, every code that I could use for this game is useless. It doesn't work anymore. And I'm not really sure if using another Game Genie would work either, but I already bought two, and finding a Game Genie at this point would probably be harder than it is and a lot more expensive. So I don't really want to bother with that. We encountered the Stalfos earlier. They're really annoying because they always jump away from you when you try to attack them with a sword. But thankfully there are multiple different ways that you can deal with them. Like, obviously you can spam the sword beam. And another thing you can do is just hold down B to have the sword held out in front of you, which is something that is new to this game. And then you can just use the sword. You can either poke them, or you can use a spin attack and attack them that way. The spin attack is also something that was introduced in this game. I hate this section. It's so easy to get hit here. When you defeat the pink stars, the red stars will disappear. And the red stars can't be damaged, but they still damage you when they touch you. And that's really cheap. And they move all over the place, and it's so easy to get hit here. Yeah, it switches to being Zelda who usually contacts you in the Dark World, and I'm not really sure why. I mean, well, I guess I prefer to have it be Zelda constantly communicating with me than Sahasrahla. I mean, he's just a stereotypical wise old man. I mean, he doesn't really have much personality to him. Although, yeah, this is another crack that wastes your time. Wonderful. But anyways, I guess out of nostalgia, I prefer the Sahasrahla in this game to the one Link Between Worlds where he's just a bumbling old man, because that's another stereotype, but it's one that I see more often, so it feels more tired and cliche. Yeah, you have to do this to beat the dungeon. And in the previous room that I was in that had the waste of time cracked floors, I vividly remember that I would dash to the edge of the screen and scroll the screen, but I would still keep dashing. I would do something to keep on dashing when I enter the next screen. And I don't remember how I do it, because usually when you dash off the screen, then when the screen transitions, you're not dashing anymore. This dungeon, there's really not much to say about it. It's kind of annoying though. This is the first dungeon, I think, in any Zelda game to have you lifting up large objects. And yay, a battle room that wastes your time. Wonderful. There's no reward for defeating all these enemies at all. I mean, even Zelda 1 got that right. In later Zelda games, they would probably reward you with a treasure chest that at least gives you money or something. Yeah, I think this dungeon is kind of annoying, but it's short, so it's not really that big of a deal. And wow, whoever kept him in here really wanted to keep him out. So, who put him in here? Yeah, spoiler alert, this is Blind the Thief. If you go outside, then you'll have to go all the way back through the dungeon all over again in order to get the Crystal Maiden again. Which is extremely annoying. Because you have to go through the entire dungeon again. And which is probably... And I bet there were a lot of people on the first playthrough who walked outside and didn't realize that she would stop following you. But yeah, this is Blind the Thief, who has taken on the form of the Crystal Maiden. And when you beat Blind, you'll find out that the Crystal Maiden herself actually looks nothing like this. Or it's a different dress or something. This boss is horrible. It's especially horrible if you're attacking it with nothing but the hammer. Like, because you have to be really precise with how you attack it with the hammer. But yeah, I know this is cheap, but this is how I always do the boss. It saves you a ton of headaches and frustration. Usually you have to walk all over the place to dodge all the attacks, but it feels like they throw too much at you. There's too much going on here. And again, I have to ask, who put Blind the Thief in that cell? I mean, I guess he put himself there, but if that's the case, I mean, look, she has a red dress, and Blind was wearing an orange dress, so he didn't even get the shape-shifting right. Yes, I know. Sarsaparilla already told me that. I know. She's telling you the same thing that you learned. Like, how is it ironic that the last one in the line has the potential to become the hero? How is that unexpected at all? But anyways, obviously Blind was trapped in that dungeon and wanted to get out and become a thief again, but oh, this is hilarious. I completely forgot to get the Titan's mitts. I hate it when that happens. I used to call them the Titan's mitts when I was a kid, because I couldn't pronounce it very well. I didn't know it was pronounced. This game introduces a lot. This game throws a lot of big words at you that you wouldn't know as a kid. Like, I remember when the sage asked, "You say Princess Zelda, is this your doing, Link?" And I asked my parents what doing meant, because I'd never heard it be used as a noun at that point in my life. And my parents never answered me. And later you'll see Misery Mire. And to this day I have no idea what that word means. Is that supposed to be another name for a swamp? I think so. But anyways, what I was trying to say was that, oh yeah, it's kind of hard to avoid hitting the chickens, but I like to make it a self-imposed challenge to get past that section without hitting any of the chickens with a hammer. I mean, I don't really care, especially since they're skeleton chickens, but still, it's harder than it looks to avoid hitting them with a hammer. I'm not really sure why he turned into a frog. I mean, what does that represent about his personality? What are frogs supposed to be like? Both of them say the exact same thing. Like-minded twins, I guess. This game and A Link Between Worlds are the only Zelda games that have dwarves in them. Like, why? I mean, they feel like wasted potential. I like how they actually have a Easter egg. Like they actually foresaw that you would try to do that with your hammer. That's pretty funny. And it's interesting how you have a unique sword animation for you still play the sword animation, but you don't have the sword. Anyways, it's annoying. Like, why didn't Blind the Thief just put on sunglasses? I mean, if she really didn't, if Blind the Thief has really sensitive eyes, and that's why she can't go outside. I'm getting so confused with my gender pronouns because he turns into a girl, and you'd think that would be uncomfortable. And that's supposed to be the gossip shop, right? You're supposed to get this treasure chest from the gossip shop, but that doesn't look like a gossip shop at all. That looks like just a regular broken house, and I'm not even sure what a gossip shop's supposed to be. Maybe it was planned earlier in development that it would be a advice giving shop, and they abandoned it because that's essentially what a fortune teller is. But yeah, that's how you get the next bottle. And it's really convenient how you can use the flute and the chest comes with you. I mean, it's not intuitive, but it's still pretty cool that it's pretty convenient that you can actually bring it with you using the flute. But anyways, I don't understand why. I guess sunglasses weren't invented at this time. See you later.